So hello all. Today we will see the colonialism of China. Colonialism of China. So what was happening in the early 19th century was that the Europeans and were trading with this with the Chinese state. So what they mainly trading? They were mainly trading silk, porcelain, and tea, and they were paying them in European silver they were paying them by silver. So China was amassing a lot of silver and it did not import anything from the Europeans. So it created a very negative trade imbalance. So what the Britishers started, they started sending opium into China, and the opium from Bengal they started trading into China. So you could see the first representation where we have shown the opium imports into China. So you could see it gradually increasing in the 19th century. And with the opium, they used to pay for the silk, porcelain, tea, whatever they used to take along with themselves. So due to this, the youth of China got very much affected, and this was one of the first causes of the first Opium War in 1840 to 42. So initially, the British were allowed to trade through this port of Canton, now called Guangzhou. So, and in China, there was a rule of Manchu dynasty, or also called the Qing dynasty. Qing dynasty. So after this war, what happened that Hong Kong was politically annexed, and more ports were opened up for British trade, and the influx of Christian missionaries increased in China. Actually, it had started early, way before the first Opium War, but it increased more after the first Opium War. So now we come to the second Opium War. So so the second Opium War was mainly because these Christian missionaries they started influxing into China in a large number, and this created friction between the local people and the Christian missionaries. So in a few years, some there were attacks on the Christian missionaries and few people were killed. So this led to the Second Opium War, in which the Chinese ruled, in which the Chinese, led by the Manchu dynasty, were against England, France, and United States. So what happened after the Second Opium War? Obviously, this trio won the war against the Manchu dynasty, and more number of ports were opened externally as well as internally. So you could see this map showing in triangles. These was the ports which was opened after the first Opium War, and now you could see the blue dots. These were the ports which are opened after the Second Opium War. So now it covered the entire coastal region of China, nearly the entire coastal region of China. And now the Chinese rivers were also opened up, and there was now freedom of travel given to the foreigners, and then opium trade was legalized, and the influx of Christian missionaries again increased now in China. And during this time in 1858, it also the Russia took some territory of China, which was to the left of River Amur. So you could see this was the territory earlier. This was the border between Russia and USSR earlier, and now the USSR captured this territory to the down of River Amur. This is the River Amur here. And they captured this territory so that they could get access to the warm waters here. And here you have the Vladivostok port of Russia. Then also in this during this time there was this Taiping rebellion going on. So what happened? These Christian missionaries they have been successful in converting a large number of people to Christianity. So these Christian converts they wanted to establish the heavenly kingdom of great peace with Christianity as a state religion. So you could see they started a civil war or against the rulers, against the Manchu dynasty and the King dynasty. So you could see this was the initial extent of their rule. So they nearly captured this much territory in the initial phases of the war until they were suppressed with the help of warlords. For example, the Xiang army led by Xiang Gofeng. And this army of Christian converts were mainly led by Hong Kukwan, an ethnic Hakka. So here you could see this is the map of China. So this region, the upper region, this is referred to as Manchuria, which is a very coal-rich region. So we will talk in our next lecture on how the Japanese started war against China and how this region called Manchuria was very important for them. So earlier, this Korea is also part of China, and then the Japanese will capture, and then it will make them as a protectorate of Japan, and then again after a few years it will finally get independent.